What's up everyone, my name is CreatorRedA, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be getting critical about Rainbow Six Siege Outbreak. So I have a lot of really good things to say about it. It's a really great mode, and we're going to start off with talking about Ubisoft a little bit, which as most of us know is the company that designed Rainbow Six, and more they're kind of losing respect among their player base, but there's a lot of buzz that they're kind of going against that, and they're trying to turn that view around with Rainbow Six and their new business model for keeping this game alive for 10 years, which if they continue down the path they've been going with new maps, new characters, and a lot of longevity built into the way the game already works, then hopefully that'll actually happen. So why are we talking about this? Well, this channel is all about game design, and to get better at game design you need to analyze games, understand what they did right, what they did wrong. Now you can learn from that, and so that's what this is going to do. I'll be talking about a few things that you probably already know or have seen or even done if you played the game, but we'll look at it from a different point of view, so hopefully you'll get some out of that. So in the base game, when the game first released, I really got this feeling of this is a highly individualistic team that is only called in when no one else can handle the situation, and they are the best at what they do. And the more that the game adds new operators, adds new maps, there's this longevity that's created with all the different content, trying to master those maps and master those operators. But at the same time, I kind of feel like the initial feeling of how amazing this team is and how individualistic it is kind of fell to the waistline the more I played the PvP, because it just kind of stops being as amazing and that nostalgic feeling goes away, at least for me. But I feel like that really came back with the Outbreak mode, because it was this really fresh take using the principles found in the base game, and that's done really well. So we're going to go into the different zombie types that they have in this game mode, which first off are just the grunts, the basic attack type. So the grunts are cool and all. The most interesting thing about them is that they'll just kind of stand there, and they're really creepy and weird, and they just kind of keep to themselves. Kind of like if you've ever seen I Am Legend, in that scene where he goes in the building to find his dog and they're all huddled up and they're just like freaky. It's like that. And then when they actually detect you, they get like really mad and they start to transform, and that's when they really go into full zombie mode and will come attack you. And it's really cool to see happen, and it kind of just builds to the whole Rainbow Six Outbreak world that they've created here, and I just love that detail. They're not too hard to kill unless you're doing body shots, because body shots do nothing to them. But if you hit them in the head, they'll go down real quick, which also makes it really easy to go through either silently or loud. But you can go through silent with the silencer on and just take out every single one of them. Of course, unless you mess up and die. Also, they talk to themselves, which is disturbing, but that's good because it's a zombie mode. So next we're going to talk about the bombers, or as I believe they're called, the breachers. So basically these guys are these really freaky, like hunched over, agile enemies, and they have all these little spikes coming out their back with like these boils on them, and if they get close, they'll get enraged and explode. So they're developed really well. I love the way they jump around. They can actually breach through walls, which is really just it adds so much. Like it's taking the original things that you learn in Siege and really building upon them in all the right ways. And even players who have never played like the base content can come into this and learn how to play Siege, which you'll see as I go through the rest of these examples. So the next one that they have is the rooters. So rooters are really annoying because all they do is they'll pop up and then pop right back into the ground, and they try to hold you down with roots until someone else shoots them. But the second you shoot them, they'll go back into the ground. It takes like 5 times to kill them. But if you have someone like Ying, or you just hit them real quick, you can stun them and then go in for a takedown and get them down real quick. So quick tip for you. Alright, next we've got the Apex. So these are the people, or these are the zombies that started this whole outbreak. They're the ones that came in on the space capsule. So these guys are really bullet spongy, to be honest, but it's okay. They buff all the other zombies around you by adding this weird like swarm of infected bees. I have no idea what it is, but it's really cool. And they can also summon them. So like they'll kind of go through waves where they show up, they summon zombies, they reinforce them, and then they'll kind of spit this weird bee infected goop at you. Again, really bullet spongy, but still really cool, fun to fight. And then the last one are the smashers, which are really agile. It's surprising. Like, I didn't expect them to be climbing over fences or jumping on cart, but they can. This one fits through a window. This one climbs through a window. It's amazing. But these guys are really cool because you can't just take them head on, but if you shoot at them, you'll enrage them, and then you can run out the way, and then if they ram into something, they'll kind of go down. Then you want to come behind them, stab them in the back. You have to do it 3 times, but they're not as bullet spongy because if you know how to fight them, then it's easy. But they're a really cool type. All of them are. They're really done well, and they give you this good training for the base game, and it's great. So that's kind of the big thing about the modes, and I've got a couple of videos around here trying to kind of show you the different comparisons and give you examples of what all these things look like. But one of the biggest things about that is the fact that this Outbreak mode is teaching you how to play the base game and enhancing or building upon the things that already exist there. Previous examples included, you've also got things like how reinforcements go up in a fraction of the second. So whenever you're trying to defend a bomb, because they have bomb modes, and they also have terrorist hunt more or less is included as a part of the Outbreak, because you're going in and you're killing, instead of terrorists, you're killing the zombies. But the reinforcements go up super quick, and so you can focus on just where you want to place them in your strategy, and it's not annoying. They switch out some of the gadgets for the different operators so that everyone has something that is in some way useful depending on your playstyle. Barricades are also extremely useful because you can keep out all of the zombies for an extremely long time if you're just standing there watching the barricade, because they can break right through walls, but it takes them a while. If you're paying attention, you can take them out before they get a chance to, and in doing so get like 6, 7, 8 zombies at a time, and it's great. And then on top of all that, the melee is useful. Like, if you've ever panic knife in Rainbow Six Siege base game, you understand what I mean. The melee is so useful, and that's reinforced here in the Outbreak mode because, for example, you can hit a zombie away from you if he's rushing and you're trying to reload, and it'll give you more time. Or you can hit one of the zombies, like the exploders, the breachers, before they blow up in your face if you weren't able to shoot them down quick enough. So it's extremely useful if you actually remember the melee. And then another quick thing about it is, about this mode, is that when you're doing things like defending the different rooms or just, going through to get to the different objectives, the zombies, even if you reinforce the walls and all that, they can still breach through them. There are holes in the ceiling so they can hop in through there, and if you're not paying attention, it won't happen too often. So you can really focus on just gunning them down and working cooperatively. But if you back yourself into a corner, one just might pop up behind you, because sometimes they just rise up from the ground, so you never really know, and you have to stay vigilant. And all of this is teaching you how to play the game, and it's just done so well. And real quick, something really important I forgot to mention is pinging or marking in Rainbow Six, which you can also do in Outbreak mode. And it's really good because it reinforces that idea of, hey, it's really important to make call out to your teammates. You can do that through marking. And in the Outbreak mode, you can do things like throwing a smoke grenade, and then when you mark one of the zombies, it'll highlight them for everyone to see, so you can see them through the smoke and take them out no problem while they're flailing about, confused and disoriented. So even if this mode doesn't stick around or it doesn't come back in the future, then at least everyone who played it will really get to take something away from it, or at least I hope a lot of people enjoyed it. So that leads us into the next thing. Is this mode going to come back? Because it only was meant to be an event for about 4 weeks, and it's on its last 3 days and something hours, and it's really disappointing. So I looked everywhere to try to figure out what's the plan, what's going to happen to this amazing mode that for the most part has gotten a lot of really good feedback and a lot of good responses. So basically, talk suggests that this mode is meant to be strictly temporary. The 4 weeks was supposed to be it. It's going to go away and not come back, which is really hard to believe because, I mean, one, the people who designed it no doubt put a lot of work into it. They've got all these enemies, it's fleshed out, the animations are there. There were almost no bugs. Actually, I didn't encounter any bugs at all while playing it, and it's enjoyable. It's really great. It's integrated into the world well. So I was able to find this article on GamesRadar by Lucas Sullivan, and they ask of Remy, a brand director for Rainbow Six, whether or not, if enough players are really enjoying this and really like the Outbreak mode, if it could come back in the future. And their response was, would you give the same present on somebody's birthday twice? Maybe not. But that's a stupid analogy for this, and here's why. Rainbow Six is based on entirely on this constant release of new content, these new operators always coming out. And that's what's supporting the game. That is what makes it good. It has this longevity because there's so many different ways to play the game, because there's always new people coming in, there's always new maps, so there's always new ways for the game to be played. And that's why this game has been successful. And so R6 releases new content based on the same principles as previous content to expand the game and its player base. If we got the same map and the same operators, or really similar ones, too often, then obviously the game wouldn't actually be gaining any real content and the player base wouldn't expand. But no, R6 releases new maps and new operators to strengthen and vary the existing principles already in the game. This creates new ways for the players to take control of the game. So just do the same thing with Outbreak, and I have no doubt that the game will see continued success with it. No offense, Remy, I'm trying to respectfully disagree with you, but you know, maybe if it's just like that's going to put too much strain on the development team, because really the whole thing behind this was that they want to focus the game, according to this article, they want to focus the game on its PvP content, and this is PvE. You've got 3 players going in and fighting a bunch of zombies, and that's why they want this to just be an event. But unless that's just going to stretch the development team too thin and they really want to nail down their PvP, then okay, fine. But otherwise, that makes no sense. This is an amazing mode and it can really be built upon. So I hope this comes back in the future. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, tell all your friends about it. We talked a lot about Rainbow Six Siege, the Outbreak mode, what it did right, what it did wrong. There wasn't really a lot of wrong. It's a really good mode, and I hope that it comes back in the future. I hope you all took some out of this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one, whatever it may be. Thanks for coming by and getting critical with me, CreatorRedA.